Welcome to the Hypnosis Chat. I'm your host, Lisa Finn. I've experienced firsthand the power of hypnosis, and I want to share this amazing tool with everyone who will listen. My goal, my mission is to show the world you can change your thoughts to change your life. And that's what I'm doing, one person at a time. So let's get to it. Hello, this is Lisa of Lisa Finn Hypnosis. Welcome to the Hypnosis Chat, episode 4. In this episode, we'll be talking about how hypnosis can help resolve painful moments from our past that just won't go away no matter what we do. Sometimes we have a specific event, or maybe it's a buildup of smaller, multiple events from our childhood or even early adult life, and these can deeply affect how we feel about ourselves. It can feel like we're still carrying around that baggage, those heavy suitcases that we just can't seem to put down and walk away. Whether it was a very serious experience or something that happened that you wrote off as being silly. Either way, if there is an event from your past that continues to bring you back to a feeling of fear or a self-limiting belief that you just can't do something or be a certain way, then that pain or discomfort is valid and it is worth getting support to resolve it. So why are those moments so persistent? Why do they stick around after so many years? It's because our brains perceive physical and emotional threats in almost the exact same way. Our brain will activate that fight or flight response when confronted with an emotionally stressful situation, as if there was a roaring lion right in front of us. This can become frustrating when rationally you know there is nothing to fear, or that limiting belief is really not true. And then logically you want to react in a certain way, but you just can't seem to get yourself to think and feel the way you want to. So let me give you an example that I had to deal with. I have had a lifelong fear of mice. I have a very vivid memory of my mother screaming and jumping up on the chair on the counter when we had a mouse in our house, which was rare because we always had a cat. But I do have a clear memory of one time she had big tan boots on, winter boots. She had oven mitts on her hands. She had a broom that was held like a spear. I don't know, maybe she even had goggles. Most likely this is an exaggerated image in my mind. But my memory from childhood is that she was ready for war with this mouse in the kitchen. Years later, as a young adult, I didn't think of that experience at all. But my first real office job as an accountant was in a building that was attached to a warehouse. So I had to go into the warehouse area every once in a while. So can you guess where I'm going with this? One day, I'm walking from the warehouse back to the office, and I'm walking down the office hallway. And there is this little mouse running down the hall, squeaking, half attached to a glue trap. Guess what I do? I start screaming. My breath was shallow, my pulse was racing, my body was shaking, the screams leaving out of my body without any consideration where I was or what I was doing. Everyone in the office came running over to see what was happening to me. So there I am, barely able to answer the "what's wrong?" question. And I squeak out, "There's a mouse!" And they are all like, yeah, so what? What's the big deal? Well, after calming myself down, I still could not understand this blasé attitude of my coworkers. It was a mouse, after all, in our office space. And in my programming, a mouse meant terror. Why didn't these women think this way? Fortunately, not long after this, the company moved us to a better location, away from the warehouse. But my fear of mice continued, and I had lots more experiences that sound pretty much just like this. So now, in my rational thoughts, I knew a mouse could not really harm me. It wouldn't attack me or bite me. Now, I had been stung by bees and bitten by mosquitoes many times, yet I never really feared them. I didn't have this emotional and physical reaction to them, even though they had actually hurt me. Why did I have this dramatic fear of mice? Well, the answer is I was emotionally resonating with the fear and panic I had seen in my mother all those years ago from the mouse. My brain knew that I was frightened and that I needed to be protected from the terrifying mouse, so it gave me that fight or flight hit that I needed to do battle with the deadly mouse. As much as I logically tried to talk myself through it, I rationally knew the mouse was scared of me and could not harm me, but I just could not get rid of that feeling of panic and terror at the mere thought of a mouse being in the same room as I was in. Now, this is because humans are built with a very strong negativity bias. When our ancestors were surviving in the wild, it was important to assume that every small movement could be a predator looking to eat you. Now, most of us don't need to worry about wild animals threatening us, but our brain is still always looking for those threats because its job is to protect us. Our brain also regulates how we remember things. If something happens to us that was accompanied by an extreme feeling of fear or stress, then our brains will not register that moment like a normal memory. Instead, it will try to shove it into its own corner. Most of our memories can be recalled as a separate experience from the past. I remember when, blah, blah, blah. But when something painful happens to us, that memory can get saved in a way that makes us feel like it's happening again in real time every time we think about it. Combine that with our brain not knowing the difference between physical and emotional threats, and this can create a cycle of experiencing physical feelings of panic, like a racing heart, sweaty palms, shallow breathing, simply because we think about that painful memory. There is nothing wrong with you. Your brain is just trying to protect you. So how do we break these cycles? Well, when something intense affects us, it becomes part of our subconscious mind. Subconscious thoughts and beliefs create our feelings that motivate us throughout the day. Once something has been accepted by our subconscious mind, it is very difficult to change that belief. Some people do have success by practicing a new way of thinking on their own with the discipline of repetition. But there are lots of times that we simply can't just think our way out of an issue. If you've had a fear of mice for over 40 years, that is a lot of repetition to have to overwrite. This is where the beauty of hypnosis comes in. Hypnosis allows us to tap into that subconscious mind and directly deliver the suggestions that we want to stick. Being in a hypnotic state while receiving these suggestions, we are able to quickly and efficiently work through the fear and reframe it in a way that is logical and that makes sense. We create new programs that more accurately reflect reality and that serve us today. Through hypnosis, I was able to rewrite my irrational fear of mice programs in my subconscious. I actually found out that my fear was not the fear of the little critter itself. In my first experience that created this fear, I didn't even see a mouse. I simply heard my mother doing battle. I learned in hypnosis that my fear was actually more about the thought of a mouse being in my presence. So now, I still don't like mice, but I am not scared to walk into my garage in the winter, fearing one is escaping from the cold. But rather, I see them for the furry little critters they are, and I know I can just call an exterminator if I need to get rid of them. Hypnosis helps people overcome lifelong fears in an average of 4 to 7 sessions. And by helping my clients understand the protective function of their brains and working on the subconscious perspective about their issue, we are able to create lasting relief, and my clients get back that feeling of control. One of the common experiences in hypnosis sessions is when a person recalls having a parent who was neglectful, judgmental, or simply just angry all the time. That child interprets the parent's actions as if it was the child's fault, and that there is something wrong with the child. If only the child could behave or be better, then the parent wouldn't have to be angry. The child begins to feel as if nothing they do is good enough. They are pulled down by the parent's negativity. The child learns disappointment, anger, and frustration. And this can come out many ways as an adult. In hypnosis, we are able to reframe those experiences so that we understand and believe that the parent's actions has nothing to do with the child. In hypnosis, we connect the dots to understand how the pain of the past can show up in the present. We undo the emotional resonance to the past, so we are free to live our lives without this emotional baggage. Hypnosis opens us up to be able to let that emotional weight go, and it frees us from the past, from mistakes others have made and mistakes we have made. It is truly a transformational experience. We put the baggage down for good and just walk away, free from the past and lighter from that moment on. If you'd like to learn more about hypnosis, check out my other episodes of the Hypnosis Chat, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Lisa Finn Hypnosis. Thanks for joining me today. If you are ready to release that pain or fear you've been carrying around for too long, schedule a free consultation with me at lisafinnhypnosis.com, and we will chat about hypnosis can help you too. That's what I have for you today. Bye for now.